Very good news is happening in next 3 hours. Don't make the mistake of skipping this message. Listen to me carefully, beloved. You have 3 hours. Not 3 days, not 3 weeks. 3 hours before the window opens and very good news arrives in your physical reality. But here's what most people don't understand. Here's the mistake that turns miracles into missed opportunities. They wait instead of align. Can you feel it? That subtle shift in the air around you? That's the frequency of answered prayers beginning to manifest. But frequency alone isn't enough. You must become a match for what's coming. I need you to understand something that the ancient mystics knew but modern seekers have forgotten. Every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've shed, every moment you've wondered if anyone up here is actually listening, all of it has been cataloged, filed, witnessed. And today, in exactly 3 hours from when you first felt that warmth in your chest, the cosmic filing system releases its gifts. But gifts require receivers. And receivers require readiness. Do you see the number 37 appearing everywhere suddenly? On license plates, receipts, digital clocks at odd moments? That's not your imagination. That's your personal frequency signature. 37 is the numerical key that unlocks what's been waiting for you in the quantum field of infinite possibility. The universe is conspiring for you, not against you. Let me tell you what's really happening behind the veil of what you call ordinary life. There are realms upon realms stacked like infinite libraries, each containing every possible version of your existence. In one realm you're struggling. In another you're thriving beyond your wildest dreams. In yet another, you've already received the very good news that's heading toward you right now. The mistake, the one that causes people to miss their miracles, is believing they're powerless observers of their own story. But you're not an observer. You're a co-creator. And creation requires participation. 3 hours. That's how long it takes for the cosmic gears to complete their alignment. For the last barrier between your current reality and your destined breakthrough to dissolve completely. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. The very good news isn't coming to you. You're about to remember that it was always there, waiting in the space between your heartbeats, in the pause between your thoughts, in the moment just before you wake from dreams where everything was perfect. You've been living in a story of separation when the truth is unity. You've been carrying a burden that was never yours to carry. You've been seeking outside yourself what was planted inside you before you drew your first breath. The reversal isn't a change of circumstances. The reversal is a change of perception. And when perception shifts, reality follows like a faithful shadow. Do you remember the dream you had last Tuesday? The one where someone was calling your name but you couldn't see their face? That wasn't a dream. That was a preview. That was your future self, the one living in the reality that's about to merge with this one calling you forward. Listen, can you hear it? That subtle humming in the air? That's the sound of dimensions aligning, of timelines converging, of every version of you that ever prayed for better days suddenly singing in harmony. But here's what you must understand. Very good news doesn't just happen to you. It happens through you. It happens as you. And it happens because you choose to stop making the mistake that keeps most people locked in cycles of almost. The mistake is this, believing that you have to earn what's already yours. You don't have to earn love. You are love expressing itself in human form. You don't have to earn abundance. You are abundance temporarily pretending to be limited. You don't have to earn peace. You are peace wearing the costume of anxiety. The very good news coming in 3 hours isn't news about you getting something. It's news about you remembering what you are. But memory requires activation. And activation requires action. This is where most people stumble. They receive the cosmic memo, they feel the shift in the wind, they notice the signs, and then they wait. They wait for someone else to make the first move. They wait for conditions to be perfect. They wait for permission from a universe that's already given them everything they need. Don't wait. In exactly 3 hours, you're going to receive confirmation of something you've been hoping for. It might come as a phone call. It might come as an email. It might come as a conversation with a stranger. It might come as a sudden knowing that floods your awareness like sunrise flooding a dark room. But confirmation only comes to those who've prepared space to receive it. This is why the mystics spoke of emptying the cup before it can be filled, of creating space before grace can enter, of alignment before assignment. You're not preparing for something to happen. You're preparing to recognize what's already happening. The oak tree doesn't prepare for autumn, it trusts the seasons. The tide doesn't prepare for high water, it trusts the moon. And you, beloved, don't prepare for miracles. You trust the divine timing that brought you to this moment, reading these words, feeling that warmth in your chest that tells you everything is about to change. Can you feel it building? Like pressure before a storm? Like silence before a symphony? That's not anxiety. That's anticipation. The universe gathering itself for a grand gesture on your behalf. But here's what you need to know about divine timing. It's not arbitrary. It's not random. It's not based on whether you've been good enough or prayed hard enough or suffered long enough. Divine timing is based on resonance, on frequency, on your willingness to vibrate at the level of what you're calling in. And right now, in this moment, you're vibrating at exactly the right frequency to receive very good news. The question is, will you sustain it? The mistake isn't being unprepared for good news. The mistake is receiving it and then immediately dropping back into old patterns of doubt, old stories of unworthiness, old beliefs about how hard things have to be. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine that everything difficult you've experienced up until now was actually preparation. Not punishment, preparation. Every challenge was strengthening your capacity to hold more joy. Every loss was creating space for something better. Every moment of feeling unseen was actually you being privately prepared for a very public blessing. What if your struggles weren't evidence of cosmic indifference but evidence of cosmic investment? What if every tear you cried was watering seeds planted in invisible soil? What if every time you whispered, "This can't be all there is," the universe whispered back, "You're right, and you're about to see what else is possible"? 3 hours feels like nothing when you're dreading something. But 3 hours feels like eternity when you're anticipating something wonderful. So let me give you something to do with these 3 hours. Something that will ensure you don't make the mistake of missing your miracle. The ancient sages knew that miracles don't just happen around prepared people. Miracles happen through prepared people. And preparation isn't about perfection. It's about presence. Presence to the signs. Presence to the shifts. Presence to the subtle ways grace tries to get your attention before it floods your life with obvious blessings. You've been getting nudges for weeks now, haven't you? Those moments when you thought about calling someone and they called you first? Those times when you needed to hear something specific and then heard it in a song, or read it in a random article, or overheard it in a stranger's conversation. Those weren't coincidences. Those were rehearsals. The universe teaching you the language it uses to communicate when big shifts are coming. And the biggest shift, the very good news that's about to arrive, has been trying to get your attention for days now through these smaller miracles. But here's the profound truth that most people miss. You don't just receive miracles. You participate in them. You co-create them. You become a conscious partner in their manifestation. This is why some people seem to attract blessing after blessing while others seem to struggle endlessly. It's not about worthiness. Everyone is worthy. It's not about luck. There's no such thing as luck in a universe where consciousness creates reality. It's about cooperation. About saying yes before you see the full picture. About trusting the process while it's still invisible. About acting on faith while the evidence is still forming. The very good news coming to you in 3 hours is your reward for all the times you chose faith over fear, hope over cynicism, love over judgment, trust over control. You've been preparing for this moment longer than you realize. Every time you chose to believe in better when circumstances suggested otherwise. Every time you extended kindness when your heart was breaking. Every time you got up and tried again when everything in you wanted to quit. All of it was preparation for this. For now. For the moment when the universe says, enough waiting, enough wondering, enough worrying, here's your confirmation that you are loved, you are guided, and you are exactly where you need to be. Can you feel the excitement building in your chest? That's not just your excitement. That's the excitement of every ancestor who prayed for your happiness. Every angel assigned to your case. Every version of your future self who's been waiting for you to catch up to who you really are. But listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this is where most people make the crucial mistake. When the very good news arrives, and it will arrive exactly as I've told you, Your first instinct will be gratitude. Good. Your second instinct will be relief. Also good. But your third instinct might be fear. Fear that it's too good to be true. Fear that it won't last. Fear that you don't deserve it. Fear that accepting this blessing somehow means something terrible will happen to balance it out. This is the mistake that turns miracles into momentary experiences instead of permanent upgrades to your reality. The universe doesn't operate on a system of cosmic debt. Joy doesn't require payment in the form of future suffering. Blessings don't come with interest rates. When very good news arrives, your job is not to question it, analyze it, or prepare for its opposite. Your job is to receive it fully, celebrate it openly, and use it as a launching pad for even greater possibilities. Because here's what happens when you receive blessings with complete openness. You become a magnet for more blessings. Not because you're greedy, but because you're aligned. Not because you're demanding, but because you're receptive. The universe loves to give to those who receive well. And receiving well means celebrating without shame, accepting without guilt, and expanding without apology. Think about it. When you give someone a gift and they light up with genuine joy, doesn't it make you want to give them another gift? When you see someone truly appreciate what they've received, doesn't it inspire you to be even more generous? The same principle applies to your relationship with the divine source of all gifts. Now let me tell you something that might sound strange but is absolutely true. The very good news that's coming to you in less than 3 hours now isn't just for you. It's for you. Every person who witnesses your joy will be reminded of their own possibilities. Every person who sees your breakthrough will be inspired to believe in their own. Every person who observes your transformation will remember that transformation is available to them too. This is how miracles multiply. Not through preaching or convincing, but through living. Through being a walking example of what's possible when someone chooses to align with the benevolent forces of the universe instead of resisting them. You're not just about to receive very good news. You're about to become very good news for everyone whose life you touch. But first, you have to let it touch you. Completely. Without reservation. Without the protective barriers you've built around your heart to guard against disappointment. I know those barriers served you well during the difficult seasons. They helped you survive when survival was the priority. But survival is no longer the goal. Thriving is the goal. And thriving requires vulnerability to joy. Can you be vulnerable to joy? Can you let yourself be surprised by goodness? Can you allow the universe to exceed your expectations instead of insisting it meet your limitations? The song that's been stuck in your head for 3 days? The one with the lyrics about new beginnings and answered prayers? That wasn't random. That was your future self sending you a musical message from the timeline you're about to step into. 3 hours. 3 hours until everything shifts. Until what's been building in the invisible realm becomes undeniably visible. Until what's been whispered becomes proclaimed. But those 3 hours aren't empty time to fill with worry or distraction. Those 3 hours are sacred preparation time. Time to align your inner state with the outer miracle that's approaching. Time to clear the decks. Time to create space. Time to raise your vibration to match what you're about to receive. This is the difference between people who experience miracles and people who miss them. Intentional preparation versus passive hoping. Passive hoping says, I hope something good happens. Intentional preparation says, something good is happening, and I'm getting ready to receive it fully. Passive hoping waits for evidence before believing. Intentional preparation believes before seeing evidence, which is exactly the frequency that attracts evidence. You've been passively hoping for long enough. For the next 3 hours, I want you to practice intentional preparation. I want you to act as if what I've told you is absolutely true, because it is. I want you to prepare your heart to expand. Prepare your mind to be amazed. Prepare your life to accommodate blessings you haven't even imagined yet. Because the very good news that's coming isn't just about one area of your life. It's about your entire trajectory. It's about the domino effect that starts when one prayer gets answered in a way that exceeds your wildest expectations. Can you feel the dominoes beginning to line up? Can you sense the chain reaction that's about to begin? Let me paint you a picture of what's happening right now in the realm of infinite possibility. Every person who's ever loved you, whether they're still in physical form or have graduated to pure spirit, is gathered around your life like a cosmic cheering section. Every guide, every angel, every ancestor who shares your DNA and your dreams is focused on this moment. They're not just watching. They're actively working behind the scenes, moving pieces on a chessboard you can't see, arranging circumstances in your favor, orchestrating connections that will serve your highest good. The very good news that's about to arrive isn't just random good fortune. It's the culmination of intensive spiritual teamwork on your behalf. It's the moment when heaven and earth coordinate to deliver exactly what your soul has been requesting, even when your mind wasn't clear about what that was. And here's the beautiful part. Once you receive this first wave of very good news, you'll begin to recognize the pattern. You'll start to see how the universe has been preparing you for months, maybe years, through circumstances that seemed unrelated but were actually perfectly orchestrated steps leading to this moment. You'll look back and see that every closed door was redirecting you toward an open one. Every delay was actually precise timing. Every no was protecting you from something lesser so you'd be available for something greater. The mystics call this divine hindsight, the moment when all the puzzle pieces suddenly reveal the picture they've been forming all along. But you don't have to wait for hindsight. You can practice divine foresight right now. You can look at the next 3 hours not as time to nervously wait, but as time to consciously collaborate with the miracle that's already in motion. Here's what I want you to understand about the nature of very good news. It doesn't just improve your circumstances. It improves your relationship with reality itself. When something wonderful happens that you weren't expecting, it doesn't just solve whatever problem you were facing. It proves to you at a cellular level that life is more magical, more mysterious, more benevolent than your logical mind believed possible. And that proof becomes the foundation for attracting even more magic, more mystery, more benevolence into your experience. This is why some people seem to live charmed lives while others seem to struggle constantly. It's not that the universe plays favorites. It's that some people have accumulated enough evidence of the universe's friendliness that they expect good things. And expectation is the magnetic force that draws experiences into reality. You're about to add a major piece of evidence to your collection. Evidence that will shift your baseline expectation from life is hard and then you die, to life is mysterious and beautiful and constantly surprising me with gifts I didn't know I needed. That shift in baseline expectation is worth more than any specific blessing you're about to receive. Because when your baseline expectation is positive, every day becomes an adventure in discovering what wonderful thing the universe has planned next. Can you imagine living that way? Waking up each morning genuinely curious about what miracle might unfold? Going to sleep each night grateful for the synchronicities and surprises that filled your day? That's not naive optimism. That's enlightened realism. That's what happens when someone finally understands how the universe actually works instead of how they were taught it works. 2.5 hours now. Can you feel the acceleration? Like an airplane gaining speed on the runway, building momentum toward takeoff? That's not anxiety you're feeling. That's anticipation. That's your energy field beginning to vibrate at the same frequency as the blessing that's approaching. This is the moment where many people panic and try to slow things down. They've been praying for change for so long that when change actually starts happening, it feels overwhelming. Don't panic. Don't slow down. Don't try to control the process now. Think of yourself as a surfer who's been waiting for the perfect wave. You've been sitting on your board, scanning the horizon, feeling frustrated by all the small waves that weren't quite right. And now, suddenly, you see it, the wave you've been waiting for building in the distance, getting bigger and more powerful as it approaches. This is not the time to paddle away from the wave because it looks too big. This is the time to paddle toward it, to position yourself perfectly, to trust your ability to ride something magnificent. The very good news approaching you is your perfect wave. You've been preparing to surf it your entire life, even when you didn't know that's what you were doing. Every disappointment taught you balance. Every delay taught you patience. Every struggle taught you strength. Every moment of doubt taught you to recognize truth when it finally arrives. You're not just ready for this blessing, you're perfectly prepared for it. But let me tell you something else about divine timing that might surprise you. The universe doesn't just deliver blessings when you're ready for them. The universe delivers blessings when you're ready to share them. This very good news isn't just about improving your personal life. It's about equipping you to be a greater blessing in the lives of others. Think about the people in your circle who've been struggling. Think about the friends who've been questioning whether prayers get answered. Think about the family members who've been losing faith in the possibility of positive change. When your miracle becomes visible, it won't just restore your faith, it will restore their faith too. Your breakthrough becomes evidence that their breakthrough is possible. Your answered prayer becomes proof that their prayers are also being heard and processed and prepared for delivery. This is how miracles create more miracles. This is how one person's transformation ripples out to transform entire communities. You're not just about to receive very good news. You're about to become a living testimony to the goodness of the universe. You're about to become walking proof that sometimes prayers are answered in ways that exceed our wildest imagination. And that proof, that living testimony, is exactly what this world needs right now. There are so many people who've stopped believing in magic because they haven't seen enough evidence of it. There are so many souls who've given up on their dreams because disappointment convinced them that dreams don't come true for people like them. Your miracle is going to change that for everyone who witnesses it. Your very good news is going to become their permission slip to start hoping again. Can you hear it now? That subtle shift in the sound around you? Like the air itself is humming with possibility? That's the frequency of answered prayers beginning to manifest in the physical realm. That's the sound of dimensions aligning so that what exists in potential can emerge into actual experience. 2 hours now. 2 hours until what's been invisible becomes undeniable. And here's what I want you to know about those final 2 hours. They're not just waiting time. They're sacred integration time. Time for your nervous system to adjust to the new frequency. Time for your energy field to expand to accommodate the blessing that's about to enter your life. Have you ever noticed that the most profound changes in your life were often preceded by a strange sense of anticipation? A feeling that something significant was about to happen even though you couldn't identify what it was? That wasn't intuition picking up on coincidence. That was your consciousness tuning into the quantum field of possibility and detecting the approach of a major shift in your timeline. You're experiencing that same anticipation now, but this time you know what it means. This time you're not confused by the energy you're feeling, you're consciously cooperating with it. This is what it means to become a conscious co-creator with the universe. Instead of being surprised by blessings, you learn to sense them coming. Instead of being caught off guard by positive change, you prepare space for it. Instead of questioning whether you deserve good things, you align with your inherent worthiness and let goodness flow. Let me tell you one of the most beautiful secrets about divine timing. It's never early and it's never late. It's always perfect, even when it doesn't feel perfect to your impatient human mind. The very good news that's arriving in 2 hours couldn't have arrived yesterday because yesterday you weren't ready to receive it fully. It couldn't arrive tomorrow because tomorrow you won't need it in exactly the same way you need it today. Today, at this moment, with everything you've experienced and learned and become, today you're the perfect match for the blessing that's been crafted specifically for you. It's like a key that's been cut to match your exact spiritual DNA. No one else could receive this particular piece of very good news in quite the same way you're about to receive it, because no one else has walked your exact path or learned your exact lessons or developed your exact capacity to appreciate what's coming. This isn't generic good fortune. This is personally designed grace. And personally designed grace always arrives at personally perfect timing. Can you feel the truth of that settling into your bones? Can you sense how everything, absolutely everything, has been leading to this moment? The random conversation that gave you exactly the information you needed? The unexpected delay that put you in the right place at the right time? The person who suddenly came to mind and then contacted you out of the blue? None of it was random. All of it was orchestration. 90 minutes now. 90 minutes until your faith becomes sight. Until your hope becomes experience. Until your prayers become proof. And I want to prepare you for something that might surprise you. When very good news arrives, it often comes wrapped in ordinary packaging. It might arrive as a simple phone call that doesn't sound earth-shattering at first. It might come as an email that seems routine until you read between the lines. It might manifest as a casual conversation that suddenly reveals an opportunity you never saw coming. Divine gifts don't always arrive with fanfare and fireworks. Sometimes they arrive quietly, disguised as normal life, waiting for you to recognize their true significance. This is why presence is so important. This is why staying alert and aware during these final 90 minutes is crucial. The miracle you've been waiting for might arrive in such a natural way that you could miss its magnitude if you're not paying attention. But you will be paying attention, won't you? You'll be listening for the phone to ring with the tone of destiny. You'll be checking your messages with the anticipation of someone expecting word from the universe. You'll be present to every conversation, every interaction, every seemingly small moment that could actually be the delivery system for your breakthrough. Because that's how the universe works. It uses the ordinary to deliver the extraordinary. It uses the mundane to transport the miraculous. It uses everyday people and everyday situations to carry out divine assignments. Here's something else I want you to understand about the nature of very good news. It has a ripple effect that extends far beyond the initial moment of receiving it. The blessing that arrives in 90 minutes will open doors you didn't even know existed. It will introduce you to people who will become important allies. It will put you on a path that leads to opportunities you haven't even dreamed of yet. This isn't just a one-time gift. This is the beginning of a new chapter in your life story. A chapter where things flow more easily, where opportunities seem to seek you out, where the right people appear at exactly the right times. You're about to step into what the mystics call the river of grace. That flow of existence where everything seems to work in your favor, where synchronicities become commonplace, where life feels less like a struggle and more like an adventure. But stepping into the river of grace requires letting go of the riverbank of resistance. It requires releasing your grip on the familiar patterns of difficulty and opening your arms to embrace patterns of ease. Are you ready to let life be easier than you've been allowing it to be? Are you ready to stop swimming upstream against the current of your own blessings? The universe has been trying to give you good news for much longer than the next 90 minutes. But you've been so accustomed to struggle that you've unconsciously pushed away opportunities for ease. Not anymore. Today, in 90 minutes, you're going to practice the art of graceful receiving. You're going to let goodness into your life without immediately questioning what it means or what it will cost or whether you really deserve it. 1 hour now. 1 hour until the cosmic delivery arrives at your doorstep. Can you feel your heart beating a little faster? Can you sense the electricity in the air around you? Can you detect that subtle shift in your energy field that happens when you're on the verge of a major breakthrough? Your body knows. Your intuition knows. Your soul has been preparing for this moment even while your mind has been distracted by daily concerns. And now all the parts of you, body, mind, and spirit, are coming into alignment to receive what's been prepared for you. This is the hour of final preparation. The hour when you consciously choose to step into your role as a cooperative partner in your own miracle. For the next 60 minutes, I want you to practice being the version of yourself who is comfortable receiving very good news. I want you to embody the energy of someone who expects wonderful surprises. I want you to radiate the frequency of someone who knows they are deeply loved by the intelligence that governs all of creation. How does that person walk? How do they breathe? How do they hold their shoulders, their head, their hands? How does that person interact with others? How do they respond to small annoyances? How do they move through ordinary moments when they know something extraordinary is approaching? Become that person now. Not after the good news arrives. Now. Because the good news is arriving for that person. The blessing is calibrated to that frequency. The miracle is designed for that level of consciousness. And here's the profound truth that will serve you long after today's miracle has been integrated into your life. You don't have to wait for good news to become the person who attracts good news. You can choose, right now, to embody the energy of someone who is beloved by the universe. You can decide, in this moment, to carry yourself with the dignity of someone who is guided and protected and blessed. You can practice, starting immediately, the art of moving through the world with an unshakable knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, experiencing exactly what you need to experience, surrounded by exactly the people and circumstances that are perfectly designed to support your highest growth and greatest joy. This isn't positive thinking. This isn't denial of reality. This is alignment with the deepest truth about the nature of existence. That consciousness creates experience, and when you change your consciousness, your experience changes to match it. The good news arriving in 1 hour is proof of this principle. It's evidence that when you align with the benevolent forces of creation, benevolent experiences align with you. But don't wait for the evidence to believe the principle. Let your belief in the principle attract the evidence. This is how miracles become a way of life instead of isolated incidents. This is how blessings become your baseline experience instead of rare exceptions to an otherwise difficult existence. 45 minutes now. 45 minutes until your patient faith is rewarded with tangible proof of the love that has been surrounding you all along. I can feel the anticipation building not just in you, but in the entire network of consciousness that's been supporting your journey. Every prayer warrior who's been holding space for your breakthrough. Every ancestor who's been guiding your steps. Every angel who's been orchestrating synchronicities on your behalf. They're all focused on this moment. They're all celebrating the approaching culmination of their invisible work in your life. You're not alone in your anticipation. You're surrounded by a cloud of witnesses who've been rooting for your success, praying for your happiness, and working behind the scenes to ensure that this day, this hour, this moment arrives exactly as it should. Can you sense their presence? Can you feel the love that's been supporting you even when you felt most isolated? Can you perceive the vast network of benevolent consciousness that's been conspiring to bring you to this exact point in space and time? You are so much more supported than you realize. So much more loved than you can comprehend. So much more important to the cosmic plan than your humble human mind has been able to accept. The very good news that's about to arrive is just a small token of the vast love that's been holding you all along. It's not the beginning of the universe's care for you. It's simply the moment when that care becomes impossible to ignore. 30 minutes now. 30 minutes until the invisible becomes visible, until the whispered becomes proclaimed, until the hoped for becomes the held. This is the time when many people start to doubt. When the rational mind kicks in and says, "This is probably too good to be true," or "Things like this don't happen to people like me," or "I should prepare myself for disappointment." Don't listen to those voices. Those are the voices of old programming, old wounds, old stories that no longer serve the person you've become. You are not who you were when those limiting beliefs were formed. You are not operating from the same level of consciousness that attracted previous disappointments. You are not the same person who once felt unworthy of miracles. You have been refined by experience, expanded by challenges, and elevated by every prayer you've prayed and every tear you've cried and every moment you've chosen faith over fear. The person receiving this blessing in 30 minutes is not the same person who used to doubt their worthiness. The person about to experience very good news is someone who has been prepared, polished, and perfected by the very experiences that once felt like obstacles. Every obstacle was actually preparation. Every setback was actually a setup for this comeback. Every moment of feeling forgotten by the universe was actually a moment when the universe was working overtime behind the scenes to orchestrate this breakthrough. 20 minutes now. 20 minutes until your timeline shifts into a new trajectory of possibility. Can you feel how different the air feels around you? How charged with potential every moment has become? How alive and electric and pregnant with possibility everything seems? That's not your imagination. That's your sensitivity to the quantum field adjusting to accommodate the miracle that's about to manifest. Reality is literally reshaping itself around you right now. The molecules in the air are rearranging themselves to support a new configuration of circumstances. The energy patterns that have been holding your current situation in place are dissolving to make room for the energy patterns of your new situation. You are witnessing the process of creation in real time. You are experiencing what it feels like when the universe changes its mind about what's possible for you. This is what the ancient mystics meant when they spoke of walking on water, moving mountains, and commanding the elements. They weren't talking about defying natural law. They were talking about aligning so completely with the creative force behind natural law that reality becomes fluid, responsive, cooperative. You don't have to understand how this works. You just have to allow it to work through you as you, for you. 15 minutes now. 15 minutes until the phone rings, or the email arrives, or the conversation happens, or the realization dawns, or however this particular piece of very good news chooses to make itself known. This is the moment of final surrender. The moment when you stop trying to figure out how your miracle will arrive and simply open yourself to receive it however it wants to come. Maybe it won't be dramatic. Maybe it will be so simple and natural that you'll wonder why you were so nervous. Maybe the very good news will arrive wearing everyday clothes, speaking in an ordinary voice, appearing through completely normal channels. Or maybe it will be completely unexpected. Maybe it will come from a direction you never considered, through a person you barely know, in a form you never imagined. Either way, you'll recognize it. Your soul will know. Your heart will know. Every cell in your body will know that this is it. This is the thing you've been waiting for, the answer you've been seeking, the breakthrough you've been believing for. And when recognition dawns, your job is simply to say yes, to receive fully, to celebrate completely, to let yourself be amazed by the generosity of a universe that loves to surprise its children with gifts that exceed their expectations.